good afternoon if you're watching me from the US, eastern part of the US. And good evening if you're watching me from Nigeria, wherever you are from the world. I welcome you to the Power Woman series. My name is Seun Akinlotan, and I'm the founder of On Point Success. On Point Success is a creative agency that specializes in branding, digital marketing, and web design. Today, on the Power Woman series, we do have a very special guest, which I'll be bringing in shortly. But before we get to that, may I please ask that you introduce yourself as well? So tell me your name, your location, where you're watching from, what you're doing today. Are you doing okay? I want to know what everyone is doing. So just leave me your name in the comment box and share this video. Invite your friends and all. Thank you. You love this quote. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Morenike. Welcome, Pastor Vera. Thank you. If you love my outfit was designed by The Anges. The Anges is a clothing brand in Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, Ying Wang, Boston, Massachusetts. Wow, thank you. You're okay. I love that exclamation mark. I am doing very well as well. So please, everyone, as you're joining in, just share this video, tell your friends, let us come together and learn. It's a learning session. We're going to have fun and all that, but we are also going to learn. Pastor Vera, watching from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so delighted to have you all, and we're going to have fun. So just invite your friends. Tell everyone that we are on live. This is the Power Woman series for those of you that are just joining us. And once again, my name is Seun Akinlotan. I'm the founder of the On Point Success. All right, we're going to get started. So we have a very special guest today. Her name is Oyinkansola Ayobiojo, and we'll be bringing her right now. Can we have Oyinkansola Dami from New Jersey? Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Oyin, welcome to the Power Woman series. Thank you for accepting my invitation to come and share your story. I am so delighted to have you here today. Thank you. We're going to get started in 10 seconds. Dami from New Jersey, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I am so delighted to have you all. So we're going to get started. Welcome once again, Oyin. Before we dive right in, I just want you to introduce yourself to our audience. Introduce yourself.
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much, Seun, for having me. I am really honored and excited to be part of the Power Women series. Thank you so much. So just to start off, my name is Oyinkansola Ayobiojo. I go by Oyin for short. I am the only girl in my family. I have two older brothers. I grew up in Boston and I was raised by an amazing mother. And I am originally Nigerian. So I was born in Nigeria and moved to Boston when I was 5 years old. I currently live in New York, working at IBM as a financial sales executive. So I sell financial products to consulting companies during the day. I went to the University of Pennsylvania for my undergraduate degree. And I went to New York University for my MBA. That's actually what brought me to New York. I've stayed in New York now for about 4 years. So outside of my day-to-day, my work, I am passionate about several things. One is my faith in Christ. I am very focused on building the kingdom of Christ, building the kingdom of God. That is something I'm very passionate about. The second thing I'm very passionate about is building wealth and multiple streams of income through real estate. It's something that if you know me, it's probably something I talk about all the time. So pre-COVID, I would say I was very passionate about traveling. I definitely love to travel internationally. I love food. I follow lots of restaurants. I have lists for every different type of restaurant that I like. So I consider myself to be an aspiring foodie as well. So those are some of the things that I'm passionate about.
Nice. Very nice. Wow, that's an impressive bio right there. That's actually a little bit like too much. You're too much. Oh, wow. Great. Thank you for that good introduction. You had
Absolutely.
mentioned something that got me curious. You said you are originally Nigerian. Does that mean you're no longer Nigerian, or
I'm a
what's going
Ninja girl to the core. Don't let it fool you. I will switch immediately to my Ninja accent in 1 second. So I am still a
switch
Nigerian for
right?
sure.
Okay, okay, okay. So you had shared before now that you moved to the United States when you were 5 years old.
Yes.
And I wanted you to share a little bit about that experience with our audience because a lot of people are out there saying, "Oh, I want to relocate to the United States because it's
Mm-hmm.
all glitz and glamour." But could you please share maybe one or two experiences that, when you
Sure,
started?
I'm happy to do that. Yeah, so I came to the U.S. when I was 5 years old. It was my mom, my two older brothers, and myself. We moved to Boston, and it forced me to really mature quickly. Helping to support my mom. She was, working at night and going to school during the day. So my brothers and I were responsible for the day-to-day upkeep of the house. So I started doing chores by the
Ooh,
age of 6 years old. We grew up having a cleaning schedule, which I still use till today, which really
ooh,
built a sense of diligence and structure around my life. So I remember, going to school in the morning and I had certain responsibilities, turning off the heat, making sure the lights were off, walking to the bus stop myself. So I would say that moving to the US, while God was really good to us and provided for us, it wasn't
mhm,
definitely all glitz and glamour. You definitely have some challenges, even with assimilating to the culture here
mhm.
that we faced. So I would definitely say that's the case.
Oh wow. That's really great. And it got me when you said you started doing chores at 6, because these days you have teenagers, you have young adults that don't even know how to do any chores. But you sitting here and telling me that you had a schedule, cleaning schedule at home.
We
Oh my
did.
God, that is
We
big.
did.
And
And it worked until I would say my older brother went to college. So it worked for at
wow,
least 15 years of it. So
wow,
we stuck
wow.
to it. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Kudos to mom. Mom definitely did an amazing job.
Yes, she
And
did.
I'm going to piggyback on that because I know you. We have a relationship.
Yeah.
And from talking to you over the years, I noticed that you're so fond of your mom. You talk
Yes.
about mom passionately, you know, at least say 10 sentences, without talking about your mom.
Yeah.
So that is really good. It's good. I admire that about you, that you have a solid relationship with your mom. So I'm just curious, what are the top 3 attributes that
Mhm.
endear you so much to your mom? Why do you defer to your mom so much?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think, like you said, anybody that knows me knows I'm passionate about that woman. That is my best friend, my twin. I look exactly like her. I talk like her.
Mm-hmm.
Carbon copy, basically. So, to answer your question, I would say the
Mm-hmm.
3 things that I would use to kind of describe my mom. The first thing really is resilient. I've never seen my mom give up at anything. She's someone who's very determined and resilient, even when there are barriers to a situation or chips are against her, she pushes through to achieve
Mm-hmm.
her goals. The second thing I would say is that she's very selfless. I feel like if I can even be 20% as selfless as my mom, I will go far in life,
Mm-hmm.
because I saw her sacrifice so much for us, for her family, and she continues to do that today. I think it's an amazing attribute to have and to want to emulate. And then
Mm-hmm.
the last thing I would say is that she is worthy of emulation. I'm very privileged to not have to look too far for inspiration, for a model of how I should live my life. I think that is very powerful that I have a role model in my mother. So she's definitely someone that is worthy of emulating.
Wow, wow, that is amazing. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of her as well. Each time I hear you talk about your mom, I'm like, wow, this is
Yep.
good. This is good. So, I'm just going to piggyback on that one more
Sure.
time. And I'm not sure if this is a question, but the last time I went to Nigeria, I saw a lot of kids cannot even speak like their local language.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of, everyone wants to speak English, and it's not the that have still, I see the Chinese, they still speak their language to their children and all that. But you seem to be a little different because you're very fluent in your local language, despite the fact that you moved here when you were 5. I've even seen kids that moved here as teenagers and they can barely speak their local language. So
Mm-hmm.
that come to be moving here at age 5 and you're still very fluent in Yoruba language?
Yes.
Tell us about that. Was it your mom that did that for you as well?
Um, yeah, I think I was always a very curious child.
Okay.
I'm very passionate about being a multifaceted person. I think it's important to be multilingual, especially in this world that we're living in. I would say the thing that really made me speak Yoruba was the fact that I'm the only girl. So imagine
Okay.
being the only girl. I would go with my mom to a lot of Nigerian events growing up, right? Even in Boston till today, they call me my mom's shadow. Where's your
Okay.
shadow? Because they always know I go with her to everything. And so in
Everything.
our culture, a child sits at, when they're around adults, they don't
Mhm.
speak. You are supposed to be silent. So what happens at age 5, 6, 7, and 8, your most
Mhm.
formative years, is that you are soaking in all this information, right? So I would sit at these tables, all these Nigerian aunties and uncles are talking, hey, hey, like all their mannerisms, right? And I'm just
Uh-huh.
soaking it in, soaking it in. Next thing you know, I'm saying the same thing they are saying. I'm talking the same way that they're talking. So that is really one of the ways I learned Yoruba. I also learned through Nigerian movies. I learned from my grandparents. I was privileged to be raised around my maternal grandparents, a privilege
Nice.
that I cherish till today. I
Mhm.
didn't even learn Yoruba alphabet until college at the University of Pennsylvania. I actually took
Are you
Yoruba
serious?
class. So that was when I learned the fundamentals, but I was speaking Yoruba before even knowing the alphabet because I was
Okay.
speaking from learning. So I learned how to read some of it from Yoruba class at University of Pennsylvania.
Do you mean that University of Pennsylvania offers Yoruba language?
As
Did I hear
Professor
right?
Awole taught me
Are you
Yoruba. Yes, yes. The
really?
alphabet, the numbers, basic words. I took the first year, first class, but there were multiple classes. They also have Igbo. The University of Pennsylvania will teach you any language as long as you have a minimum of 3 people that have shown interest in that language. They will hire a teacher to come and teach you that language if you're a student.
Serious?
Yes.
Wow, it's important to them.
Yeah.
Wow, you're getting some love on social media. Someone said your mother is lucky to have you as a
Oh,
daughter.
thank you guys.
Yeah, and then someone else said powerful testimony of the mom. Thank you, everyone. If you are just joining us, my name is Shinwakin Loton, and we are here at the Power Woman series. Today, we have a very special guest, Oyin Ayobiojo, and she's telling us a life story. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. So, Oyin,
Yeah.
now I know that you grew up in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that you attended high school in Boston. So I want to talk a little bit about race relations because
Okay.
I know growing up as a minority can sometimes be a slippery lane. Some kids do better than the others. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how you were able to deal with being a minority. Do
Mm-hmm.
you have like coping strategies that you could give to other kids?
Yeah.
Maybe that are growing up in environments where they are minorities.
Right.
So share a little bit about that with me.
I think that's a very apt question, especially in this environment that we're in. I will actually just share a little bit about my mindset towards that, and I will then provide some coping strategies. So you have to understand that for me, coming to America, one of the things my mom used to always tell us is we are not here to look at the bridge. What does that mean? You are not here to be a tourist. We are here
Okay.
to be successful. So coming
Amen.
home and then saying that, hey, someone did something to me because I'm Black or because I'm a girl was not really something that I ever thought about. I never
Okay.
even knew I was what it meant to be Black until I got
Mm-hmm.
to college. I went to one of the best high schools in the country, Boston Latin School.
Okay.
It was the first public school in the United States, founded in 1635. Five of
Woo.
the seven signers of the Declaration of Independence attended Boston Latin School. It is a prestigious high school. So when you take an exam to get into that school, you are focused on your studies. Nobody is really looking around and wondering if what your color is. Now, that does not mean that I didn't face certain forms of discrimination, but I didn't see it at that time. It was
Okay.
later when I looked back and I realized, oh, this person was questioning my
Thank you.
achievements because I'm Black, right?
Oh wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'd never really, I would say that I just was very tunnel vision as I had tunnel vision as a middle school and high schooler. I was very focused on my academics. My goal was to get into college with a full scholarship, to
Mm-hmm.
alleviate the stress on my mom. So I didn't really look at those kind of things. However,
Mm-hmm.
I do remember a situation. I was taking an advanced placement exam
Mm-hmm.
for world history, and we had gotten our practice exams back, and I scored with the highest score. And the boy asked me to show him my result because he
Uh-huh.
didn't believe that I actually got that result. And I was confused as to why he was asking me to show
That
me
like yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly. And it took me later on to realize that, oh, he was questioning that I would do that well because he just felt like, why is this Black girl
She's
achieving so
blazing
much?
the trail.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I would say that to people who are kind of facing this imposter syndrome or wondering or facing a lot of situations, number one, it's really just important to believe in yourself. You are in that place because you have the potential to do really well. You're
Hmm.
very you're very smart. Don't let
Yeah.
anybody tell you otherwise. So
Mm-hmm.
number one, believe in yourself and then stand up for yourself. If someone is
Mm-hmm.
questioning you based on your race, your gender, your religion, you should be able to stand up for yourself in a respectful way, and defend yourself. I don't believe that you should let anyone talk down to you. If someone is questioning your ability, your competency, you
Mm-hmm.
have a right to speak up for yourself and assert yourself with respect
Mm-hmm.
and with gentleness. And I think people truly will understand that.
They
So that's the
appreciate that.
coping mechanism that I would say. One, believe in yourself, and two, stand up for yourself.
Wow, believe in yourself and to stand up for yourself. I think a lot of people are just timid. Like when they get asked those questions, it just makes
Mm-hmm.
them to shrink. So one thing I tell people is no matter what anyone says to you, no matter where you find yourself, don't shrink. Don't even try. Do you know some people actually water down their achievements because they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to look like an overachiever. So they
Right.
down their achievement just because they want to make other people feel comfortable. I say
Absolutely.
don't shrink. And I love what you said. You said stand up for yourself respectfully. Respectfully.
Right.
We should respect everyone, but we should also stand up for ourselves. I mean, that is
Absolutely.
big. That is
And
big.
I would just quickly also add is you have confidence to do those things when you're well prepared. So prepare
Woo!
before anything too, because if
Mhm.
you're prepared, you know that you belong where you are. You have an interview, you're prepared, so you have confidence. So no one can even question what you're doing. It could be your job project, a presentation. Make
Mhm.
sure you are well prepared so that no one has any right, any actual standing on
Mhm.
questioning your competency.
Woo! Wow. Okay, so when you're talking about preparation means different things to different people. So
Yeah.
let's say you have a presentation to do at school or maybe at
Mm-hmm.
work. How long do you think a typical preparation time should be? Do you think it's 1 week, 2 weeks?
It depends on the scope.
Okay.
How long is the presentation? How complex is the presentation? What is your knowledge base about the presentation? There are
Okay.
certain things that I've prepared for 3 months about. I had interviewed when I was interviewing. I probably prepared 3 to 6 months for some interviews, right? I have a 33-page prep document that I did for a very high profile interview that I was working on. So I think it really just depends. I would say minimum of a week. If you're trying to rush to prepare for something the day before, you're not going to feel confident the next day. You're just not.
Exactly.
Like, so,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned something about your high school. You had said that it's one of the best in the countries. And did you write an exam to gain admission into that high
Yes,
school?
I started preparing for, this exam school since the 4th grade, doing summer school, advanced classes, advanced math classes, reading comprehension classes, writing classes in the summer to prepare me to take this exam.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so I did
Okay.
prepare.
That finance, is that correct? You have a bachelor's degree in finance?
So my bachelor's degree is in marketing and operations. My MBA is in
Okay.
finance and global business.
Okay, so you have a bachelor's degree in marketing and operations from
Correct.
the University of Pennsylvania. So what informed your decision? I know you had offers from Harvard,
Yeah.
UPenn, and maybe some other schools, but what informed your decision to pick UPenn out of all the offers, and what informed your decision to pursue a career in finance?
Yeah, so the college decision was tough, I would say. I got in full admission and full scholarships to both Harvard and University of Pennsylvania. I'm a Nigerian, and every Nigerian parent's dream is for their child to go to Harvard. One thing I really respect about my mother is that she never forced a decision out of me. She gave me room to make that decision, and she supported me all the way. I chose to go to University of Pennsylvania because of the Wharton School, which is the business school there. It is the top business school in the country, and I just felt like I wanted to live in a different city. University of Pennsylvania is based in Philadelphia. Harvard is based in Cambridge, which is not too far from Boston. So I just thought to myself, I have a great opportunity to go to one of the best business schools in the world and to really grow as an individual by living in another city. And when I visited Penn, I just fell in love with the campus. I was actually in a cab. My cab driver was Nigerian. I thought it was a sign. I was like, called my mom. I had went to visit the school, and I was in the cab, and the cab driver was Nigerian, and I called my mom, and I just said in the car, I really like it here, and I think this is where I want to go. And she said, yeah, go for it. So that was why I chose to go to University of Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Some people are leaving comments, and someone said that Ying Wang said, I'm inspired by you, Oyin. And then someone is asking, for Europeans, what is 4th grade? What age is that?
Okay. So first of all, hi Ying. Ying went to Boston Latin School with me. We went to high school together. So hi, how are you? Okay, so 4th grade, I believe, is like 9 years old. You would be 9 years old. It's elementary school or primary school. I was mentioning 4th grade as the age. So I was about 9 or so when I started preparing for the entrance exam for my middle and high school. So the high school I went to actually starts in the 7th grade, which is around 13. But I started preparing for the exam for that school around 9.
So you prepared 4 good years. Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Oh, I am feeling it already. I don't know about the audience out there, but for me, I've been blessed already. So now we are going to take a short break. But before we go, I would like to encourage everyone that is hearing my voice or you're watching us right now, share this video, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. welcome back. If you are just joining us, my name is Seun Akinlotan, and this is the Power Women series. With me today is Oyin Ayobiojo, and we are talking about Oyin's life story. She has shared with us how she relocated from Nigeria when she was 5 years old, and she lived with her mom and her brothers in Boston. She attended the University of Pennsylvania Wharton Business School, and now we are going to move on to Oyin's career. Oyin, are you still with us? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. So I know that when you graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, you had a corporate career that was good. I mean, like that was a good job. But then and got MBA, I believe, at New York University.
Yes.
Like, what drove you to make that decision? A lot of people will be like, oh, I have a comfortable job. Why should I resign? I have an opportunity here. I can grow. Why would I resign my good corporate job to go for my master's? What was driving you, Oyin? I want to know.
I think that's a great question. I think that the real driver for me is growth and the pursuit of excellence. I have a growth mindset. I don't believe in staying comfortable. I had a very lucrative, comfortable job. I was traveling all over the world. It was an amazing job. I even think about it sometimes. But I knew at that time when I was starting to think about my MBA around 24, 23, I had met with my mentor and he really told me, he said, hey, you've been at this company for 2 years now. What's next? And you know, what are you going to do next? What are you thinking about next? And he really pushed me to start thinking about the process of looking at an MBA. So I started looking into it at 23 and I started my MBA at 25. I had a great job, but I really believe that, you know, you should continue to pursue educating yourself for your own career development, for your own personal development. An MBA forces you to grow personally. You start to take on leadership positions, leadership experiences. You travel the world with people from all over the world. You're in class with people from different cultures, different places, different backgrounds. It's one of the ways to learn about life, honestly, and to really push and stretch yourself. And obviously, no one can take your degree away from you after you've achieved it. So you set a minimum that you're at, a minimum level. And so I really decided to invest in myself. It was very expensive. Don't do it because it sounds good. An MBA in the United States will cost you a minimum of $150,000. So it is quite pricey, but I'm investing in myself. So that was the way I looked at it.
Okay. So did you get a scholarship to do your MBA or you had to pay out of pocket?
Good question. I went on my MBA by faith. That's really what I did. I started at the New York University with $0 from the school. I started my MBA in September. I paid out of my own pocket. I had saved for the last 2 years. And by November, I did get a $20,000 scholarship. Long story short, I did graduate with very minimal loans due to paying out of pocket myself for my savings, some scholarship that I applied to while I was in MBA, and really the grace of God. I also worked as a teaching assistant for 5 classes during my MBA. So I did 5 different classes, minimum of 5. It might have been 6 if I count all of them. And that was while I was working as a teaching assistant for these classes, I was getting tuition reimbursement to pay for my tuition. So that was the way I got through school. Scholarships, help from parents, my own savings, and working. I also had an internship, so I saved everything from my internship to pay for school.
That is big. That is big. Wow. If you are watching us and you do have a question for Oyin, please feel free to drop your questions. She's very much open to answering any questions that you have. As you're listening, if something drops in your mind for you or your friend or your child, please drop your questions in the comment box. Now, Oyin, I know that you finished your MBA, and
Mm-hmm.
then I got the news that you got a job at a Fortune 500 company, which is IBM. For those of us that
Right.
don't know, IBM is an acronym for International Business Machines, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So you got a job at IBM Global Financing.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come to be? Did you have
Mm-hmm.
connections? How did you get that job? Like, that's something everyone is
That's a good
craving for. So
question.
tell me about
I didn't apply for that job. I got that job. It's a testimony. They reached out to me. I did an
that.
interview. Did about a first round interview, final round of another 4 or 5 interviews. I got the offer. I didn't actually do a physical application for that job until after I got the offer. That's how I got the job, basically. I didn't have any special connections. An alumni from NYU reached out to me, and that was how I got the job, basically.
Hello, everyone. Sorry about the interruption. If you're just joining us, my name is Sheon Akinloton, and this is the Power Woman series. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Oyin Ayobiojo, and we're talking about Oyin's life story. Can I have Oyin back, please?
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Oyin. How are you?
I'm great.
How are things, right? All right,
It
good.
happened.
So you were talking about it was your job at IBM was a testimony or is a testimony, and
Mm-hmm.
you said that you just prepared for the interview. Could you please share some tips? You know how you prepared for the interview. I know that you're an interview expert. You've helped me
Sure,
before, which I really appreciate. So
absolutely.
yeah, could you please share some strategies for preparing for interviews? A lot of people have gone to long and didn't get the job. Do you have any special tips or pro tips that you could share with our audience?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is there's no such thing as over preparation. I feel like the most important thing you can do is really to practice out loud, answering different questions. The nice thing is that we all have Google. So all these questions are really online. Behavioral questions, technical questions. There's a
Uh-huh.
website called glassdoor.com that actually put put all these questions of that people have had at different interviews for different jobs online. So the first thing I do is I usually go there, look at what these different questions are. I put them into a Word document and I start preparing my answers. But then I also try to do a mock interview. You can ask a friend or a family member and do a mock interview. So you actually practice how you're speaking and how you're carrying yourself at this interview. I would say that also is there's structure for answering questions. So I'll just share with you guys one of the structures of
Okay.
answering behavioral questions. It's called the STAR method, STAR. So S is the situation, and then T is the task, A is the action, and R is the result. So if someone
Okay.
asks you, tell me about a time when you had to lead a team, you use the STAR method in your response. So you tell them the situation, you tell them the task, the A is the action that you took, and the R is the results that came out of that action. So that is a very good method that you can use to answer any question, and it makes you look very polished, you're very succinct, and you're very structured. That's very important because the interviewer who is taking notes about your response is able to follow a very well thought out response, right? So I would say one is do your research about questions, do your research about the company, know the CEO, know who, go on their website, what is their mission, what are their values, what is what is the role even about? Prepare your own answers. What value are you adding? What skills are you bringing to the table? And then use that STAR method to answer those questions in a succinct and structured manner. And you'll do pretty well. Obviously, stay positive, smile a lot, be very confident. There's a lot of stylistic things that you can do as well. But those are some just very basic interview tips that you can use.
Wow, that is amazing. I purposely asked you that question because I think that you are a pro, when it comes to like interviews, and you've helped me before. We did a mock interview before, and I really appreciated that. Like you taught me a lot of things, and it really helped me. It really helped me. So if you are watching us at home, you're looking to switch careers, you're looking to attend an interview, use the STAR method. So STAR stands for S is what?
Situation,
And then task, and then
action.
A is action, and then R is the result. So STAR. So you can also go on glassdoor.com to get sample questions for interviews, and you will do just fine. So you have a question, Oyin, and this question is from Ying Wang. She said that when do you know it's time for what's next? Is it when you start to feel uncomfortable? I guess that's what she wanted to say. So do you want to
Absolutely.
answer that question now before
That's
we
a
go?
great question, Ying. I honestly, the way I knew was I was just getting very bored at work. Like I
Okay.
felt that I had been doing too many repetitive things. I wasn't
Mhm.
excited about coming to my job anymore. I
Okay.
didn't feel very challenged anymore. I left my company to go to my
Mhm.
MBA after 4 years of working there. Now, that doesn't
Mhm.
seem like a long time to some people, but if
Mhm.
you have a very active mind and you're someone who just loves to do millions of things at once, you
Mhm.
start to feel unchallenged at a certain point. So I think you have to be honest about yourself. Ask yourself, am I learning something new? Am
Mhm.
I excited to be coming to this job every day?
Mhm.
Am I being challenged in this new role? It doesn't mean leave. It may mean ask for a new project, right?
Okay.
Try to seek another role within the company. But I was working for a 15-person company. There was no other role for me to go to. I'd already been promoted twice. I wasn't going to jump from an associate at this private equity company to being
Mhm.
a partner. There was
Okay.
no middle ground for me. So
Okay.
that was one of the reasons why I left.
Okay, cool, 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 cool.
Yep.
And great answer, great answer. There's yet another question from the same person, and she said that, do you have any advice or tips for creating a career or life roadmap?
Yeah.
And she said it's very clear that you've achieved many goals, but how do you decide which goal to pursue per time?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Um, that's a really good question. I am led by my faith, honestly. I pray before I make any decision. I really try to hear from God before I make decisions. I think confirmation about the next step comes through different means. It can come through someone else speaking to you. So,
Mhm.
in the example I gave, I got a nudge from my mentor, who I highly respected, and this is someone who my mentor is a Jewish 80-year-old man who I
Ooh,
met 10 years ago. So
okay.
he's not the typical what you would think as my mentor, but
Mhm.
he's a millionaire, and
Mhm.
he has achieved so much, and he nudged me. So Ying, to answer your question directly, I think it's really good to spend some time alone to think about, put some things on paper. You can journal what do you enjoy doing,
Mhm.
research different roles out there. Like, so for example, if you feel like, hey, I really think I want to go work in marketing at a consumer goods company, reach out to some people in that role to really understand who they are. One of the things that I personally have been doing for almost all my life, I love reading biographies.
Okay.
I go on company websites, I click on team, and then I read all the CEOs biographies because I
Okay.
want to understand how did they get to their role and how should
Wow.
I emulate that. So if you see a job or a role, let's say your goal is to be the chief marketing officer of PepsiCo, the Pepsi
Okay.
company, right? Great
Mhm.
aspiration. Go on PepsiCo.com and
Mhm.
go and read the chief marketing officer's biography. It's there under team. And look at, what did she do? Did she get an MBA, or he do? Did they get an MBA? Do
Okay.
for about 6 or 7 different companies where they're chief marketing officers. You'll see that there are trends
And
in their lives, and
pattern.
try to emulate that. That is
Wow.
what I did, thinking, oh, I want to be a CEO. Well, if I want to be a CEO of a multinational company,
Mhm.
the MBA is kind of a prerequisite, not all the time, but it was a general theme, right?
Mhm.
Working for a multinational company across different functions, being someone who's multifaceted across different business areas is critical for a CEO. I have a board position at a nonprofit because one day I want to be a board member of a company. If I've never had a board position before, how am I going to know what it's going to be like to be a board member of Pepsi one day? Right? So there's certain things that you can do to create that roadmap, and it all starts again with that research, that reflection, and
Mhm.
prayer.
Yes. Wow. Good response. Wow. You touched on something that I feel like it's critical. So the way I'll put it in my own words. So basically you're saying that if I want to be someone tomorrow, I can
Mhm.
start small today. So
Absolutely.
want to be like a board member of
Yeah,
a multinational, you can find somewhere in your local community
absolutely.
as a member of the board. So it gives you that experience. It's
Correct.
like a prototype of the bigger picture that you're looking at. And
Yeah,
I think that is really important because people always say that, oh, they are dreaming big, but they fail to, cut it down into small
absolutely.
items that can be consumed and that can help them to prepare for that future that they are dreaming of. So that is really great. And you said something that I call the winning edge, and that is prayer. Prayer is our winning edge as Christians. Like, if you're a Christian, you should always pray, because a lot of people are smart. A lot of people know what they're doing. A lot of people have experiences. But if you have that prayer, it sets you apart. And I think that is what is working for you, because you're a Christian and you commit your ways into the hands of the Lord. Now, let us move on. I know I asked about racial discrimination when I was talking
Mhm.
about your high school, but I want to move away from that a little bit and ask about rejection, because I
Yeah.
believe that rejection is a part of life, but
Mm,
not a lot of people know how to deal with rejection.
yeah.
So, Oyin, have you ever experienced any type of rejection? If yes, if yes,
Oh my
please
God.
describe that experience and how you handled it.
A lot of rejection.
A lot of
More
rejection.
rejection than you would think.
Tell us about it.
A lot of rejection. I mean, I think you, I mean, I can remember a lot of different things that I've been rejected from. So, for example, even when I was applying to full-time jobs undergrad, I had
Mhm.
while I was at University of Pennsylvania, I did 2 summer internships at Goldman Sachs, which is one of the top investment banks in the world. And I didn't get a return offer to come back full-time after 2 summers there. That was very painful rejection for me, because
Oh,
I had
wow.
already assumed that, hey, I've already worked here for 2 summers. I'm going to automatically get this full-time offer and I'm all set after college and I'm good. But no,
Mhm.
I had to go back into the the interview force and start interviewing again for
Oh, wow.
jobs. Even when I
Mhm.
was applying for my MBA, there were several schools I didn't get into. So I went to the University of Pennsylvania undergrad, but I didn't get into Wharton again as an MBA, despite being
Mhm.
a Wharton alumni.
Wow.
So when I think about rejection, I think it's necessary to build character. Nobody is
Mhm.
walking around getting yeses all the time. The no's build you up to be stronger. It also, sometimes that rejection is redirection into the right thing for you. So every
Can you
time
say
I've
that
been
again? I don't want to miss that. You said something. I don't want.
yeah, so rejection is redirection into the right things for
Can
you.
someone type that in the comment box, because I don't want to miss that. Rejection is a redirection to
The right thing for you.
the right thing for you. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I've been rejected, I have ended up doing something better than what I was going for. It's just
Wow.
the reality. It's hard to see that while you're going through the rejection. Don't get me wrong. I've cried a lot. I've
Mhm.
cried in my car millions of times. I mean, not millions, but
Mhm.
several times at rejection that really, really hurts. But I
Mhm.
think you need to have that faith that, okay, there's actually something else that's better for me, that will be a better fit. That
Mhm.
job that you were really looking for might have taken you away from your family, taken you away from your passions, is actually not
Mhm.
the best job for you. Maybe
Mhm.
the manager there is actually not a great manager and it was redirected away for you into the next thing. It's
Mhm.
tough. I would say anybody facing rejection, I would
Mhm.
say that change your mindset to thinking of it as redirection. Don't give up, keep going. Trust me, one of the reasons I'm good at interviews is because I've
Mhm.
been rejected after a lot of interviews. So it's
Wow.
so funny because I was looking to be an investment banker after my
Mhm.
MBA, but I was rejected from a lot of banks. And I probably helped over 20 people get jobs at investment banks because I've
Wow.
done so many interviews that I'm now able to coach them on interviews for their jobs. So
Wow.
how can you go from rejected from a job and you help 20 other people get a job?
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
your
That
experiences are very important to help
yes.
other people too.
That is amazing. I say rejection is always a stepping stool to something greater because
Mm-hmm.
each time I've experienced, one form of rejection or the other, I just find some better alternatives. It helps me think better. It makes me more innovative. So I'm with you on that. Rejection is definitely a rejection to the right things for me. Yes. So we all need to take all these things and soak it in and put it into practice. Thank you so much. You've been
No.
amazing so far. I'm having fun and I'm enjoying this conversation. If you are just joining us, my name is Shion Akinloto and this is the Power Woman series. Today we have a very special guest, Oyin Ayobiojo, and she's telling us about her life story. We've talked about how she moved to Boston when she was 5, how she got into high school, the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton Business School. We talked about how she left her corporate job and we're talking about interviews and rejection right now. We're going to move on to something a little bit different in the remaining time that we have. And, in December of 2019, news started filtering in and we're hearing about COVID, coronavirus. Oh my God, what's this? It's something
Mm.
minor. Okay. January came, February came. I had plans. I wanted to go to Nigeria and I was calculating. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to spend my Easter in Nigeria with
Yeah.
my family and all that. And boom, we had this big interruption in March. And
Yeah.
everyone had to quarantine, you had to work from home and all that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, we all have different ways that we respond to situations and circumstances that are beyond
Yeah.
our control. I
Yes.
know a lot of people have said, oh, Corona made them depressed, or some people would say it increased their anxiety level. Some people would say,
Yes.
oh, Corona is actually a blessing. What is Corona to you? What have you been doing during this season? Can you share something with us? Some things that you've been doing during this season?
Yeah. So what I'm about to say is going to sound very contrary to what a lot of people are saying. And
Okay.
it doesn't take away from the fact that there have been a lot of deaths and suffering during Corona. But
Mhm.
for me, Oyinkansola Ayobiojo, Corona has been this Corona season has
Mhm.
been one of the best seasons of my life. I have
Ooh,
been extremely blessed during this season. It's actually quite
amen.
overwhelming. The first thing that really hit me when Corona happened in March, I
Mhm.
struggled for about 2 weeks to figure
Okay.
out my routine. I was very confused as to what I would be doing
Mhm.
during this time because I'm somebody who I don't like idleness. I actually told
Mhm.
myself, you can't just be binging on Netflix this whole time. You're wasting time. And
Yes.
I'm very hard on myself in that way. But
Mhm.
one thing that really convicted my heart was I had always struggled with consistency in studying the Bible. And I felt like God was really telling me that if you can't be consistent during this time that I've given you your time back from your
Mhm.
commute,
Yes.
I'm not sure when you can be consistent. And
That's
this was a time for you to really build good habits. So what I
mhm.
did was you always have a goal, right? All of us have goals beginning of the year. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Okay. How do you achieve a goal if you don't have a structure and you don't have a plan? So I found this plan that talked about reading the New Testament of the Bible in
Mhm.
90 days. And I
Nice.
started that plan, and I'll be done with the New Testament in 2 days. And
Nice.
I've never been consistent in this way if it wasn't for Corona. The fact that I can wake up early, I'm not thinking about how to get to work immediately, all that stuff. I'm
Mhm.
actually able to spend some devotional time. And for those people who are not Christians, spending that, we call it a devotional time, a quiet time where
Mhm.
you, before you start your day and you're so bombarded with all these things in the world, you
Mhm.
actually spend 30 minutes to an hour just reading your Bible and reflecting and talking to God. So that's what I refer to as devotional time. And that
Okay.
was something I did during the Corona season that I'm still doing that has been very an amazing blessing to my life. It allows me to hear from God throughout the day, know how to move and make decisions. I feel
Mhm.
much more assured. I feel
Mhm.
very at peace. I'm not afraid of Corona. I don't fear
Mhm.
Corona. I take the right precautions of obviously social distancing and wearing a mask, but I don't live out of fear of
Sure.
getting this disease. So that was
Wow.
one thing, was that rededication of my time to my spiritual journey. The second thing was my physical health. I spent a lot of time. I have amazing accountability partners. I have a friend who has worked out with me every day since Corona. Her name is Felicia. We FaceTime each other and we do workouts together. It has allowed me to lose almost 20 pounds during this time. So I'm very
Ooh.
grateful for that. I have picked up new skills. I did the landscaping of my house. I built a garden. I call myself a plant mom. I've gotten my hands dirty. So I've picked up all these different things that I really believe that the time of this quarantine time was allowed me to do. I spent more time with my family. So I shuffled between New York and Boston, just spending really good quality time with my family members. So I think your mindset really matters. If you think that everything is terrible, this is the worst time of your life, it won't be. It's just life. If you look at it and try to be a little bit more positive and say, okay, I want to read more books, I want to do this, put a plan together, it will happen. I started relearning my Spanish. I did a lot of different things. So yeah.
Wow, that's big. That's big. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. We're, nearing the end of this session. I really don't want it to end, but we're getting there. Someone asked a question which I already have in mind that I will be asking. So it's perfect. The person is in the spirit and the person has the same last name as yours. So I'm guessing it's either mom or brother, whatever. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Who asked me that question?
I don't know. You have the same last name.
Well, okay.
The person's name is Tolu Ayobiojo Tolu.
Oh, my big brother Tolu. Hi, Tolu.
Okay.
That's one of my inspirations in life right there. One of my best friends.
Cool.
Okay, so where I see myself in 5 years, from a career perspective, I definitely see myself just continuing to climb that ladder. I would love to be leading a business, either while still working for a large corporation. I want to be running a P&L, which is a profit and loss business. So actually being in charge of the operations of the business. I would also personally like to have my own business as well. I think it's important to not just build somebody else's business, but to build yours. I would like to continue to invest in real estate. Like I talked about that earlier. I see that as one of the key ways to build wealth and have multiple streams of income. In 5 years, I will be married with a child or two. This is 2020, so yeah. So that's where I see myself in 5 years. Happy, fulfilled, doing kingdom work, just continuing to be very passionate about Christ and being involved in my church, and just really doing what God has called me to do, inspiring people, encouraging people, loving people. That's where I see myself in 5 years.
Awesome, 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 awesome. We are actually racing against time. I don't know who is going to win, but can you please tell the audience about what success mean, success at work and in life? So
yeah,
real quick, 30 seconds.
Sure. So here's my thought on success. Success is prospering within your own lane.
Woo!
I'm not interested in other people's lane, other people's life, other people's roles, what they're doing, except to draw inspiration from them. You fail when you're comparing yourself. It steals your joy. It steals your peace. So success is when you're in your lane, when you're in your calling, when you're in your passion, your job, whatever you're doing, and you're getting better day by day in that area. So that's success. Once you look at everybody else's, because success means things to different people, right? Some people think success is making a lot of money, but they're so unhappy personally. For some people, success is being a homemaker, building their home, taking care of their children. That's great because that's their lane. They were called to do that. So success is prospering within your own lane.
Prospering within your own lane. I absolutely love it. Last question. What else would you like to say? What message do you have for people that are watching you right now? Just in 20 seconds.
So, first thing I would say is everything starts with your mindset. Begin to see yourself where you want to be, begin
Mm-hmm.
to envision yourself where you want to go, and speak positively into your life. Your words carry life, they carry a lot of weight. Never speak down on yourself, never speak down to other people. Just do your best to speak into your own life. I would say for anybody who's like struggling or going through anything, just really stay encouraged. Once you change your mindset towards your situation, I truly believe that your life will begin to produce the results that you're looking for. And also put in the work. There's nothing worth having that comes easy. My mom taught me that when we were growing up. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that's going to be worth having that is going to come easy. Nothing is going to come to you. You have to go and get it and
Mm-hmm.
fight for it. So that's what I would have to say to everybody.
Wow, wow, that is a powerful session, powerful closing statement. If you are watching from home, thank you so much for tuning in. I would request that everyone that is watching right now, can you please use one adjective to describe everything that Oyin has said today? Describe this session using one adjective. I want to read from you and then we'll be wrapping up this session. Just use one adjective. How was the session? Was it worth your time? I want to read from everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm waiting to read from you. Thank you so much, Oyin, for joining us today. It's been
Thank you.
absolutely amazing. I loved every bit of it. I don't even feel like it to end. You did an awesome job. Someone said it's inspiring. I thought you needed to hear this. Invigorating. Awesome job. Motivation. You know, people have so nice words. Excellent. Wow. I think that's mommy. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Until next week, I would say be exceptional, be intentional, and be on point. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. All right.